$150,000 less in retirement income over 25 years, and JEPI 8% yield is supposed to be your safety net. If you're a retiree counting on JEPI for income, this number matters. Most investors believe that 8% yield is locked-in money. The reality is different, and we're going to show you the math in the next 4 minutes so you can see exactly how inflation is eroding your purchasing power right now. Here's the belief most retirees hold. JEPI current 8% yield is a guaranteed source of retirement income. You buy $500,000 worth, you get $40,000 a year, and that income stays the same. Simple. But according to BLS data, that's where the problem starts. The correct reality, a 3% annual inflation rate, which is the Federal Reserve's target and what we've seen historically, erodes the purchasing power of that fixed $40,000 yield by approximately 50% over 25 years. Your $40,000 payment today buys what $20,000 bought in 1999. That's not a forecast. That's math based on 80 years of BLS inflation data. So here's the delta. A $500,000 JEPI investment at 8% yield generates $40,000 annually. Adjust that for 3% inflation compounding over 25 years, and your real purchasing power drops by approximately $150,000 in today's dollars. You're getting the $40,000 payment, but it's worth less every single year. Let's walk through how this actually plays out. Year 1, you receive $40,000. You spend it. Year 2, same $40,000, but inflation has taken 3%. That payment now has the purchasing power of $38,800 in year $1. By year 10, that $40,000 check has the real value of roughly $29,600. By year 25, it's down to about $21,000 in today's purchasing power. The IRS calls this real return, and most retirees don't calculate it because it's painful to look at. Now, JEPI isn't unique here. This applies to any fixed-yield ETF or bond ladder. JEPI currently trades around $45 per share with a 30-day SEC yield of approximately 3% as of late 2024. The fund generates that yield through covered calls on tech-heavy holdings. Vanguard's VYM, by contrast, yields closer to 9%. But it also has lower volatility and lower inflation erosion risk because the yield is lower to begin with. The Schwab Dividend Appreciation ETF yields around 5%, but crucially, dividends grow year over year, which hedges inflation. JEPI doesn't grow its dividends, it stays flat. That's the hidden mechanism. If you're collecting $40,000 annually and inflation is 3%, you need your dividend to grow 3% per year just to break even on purchasing power. JEPI yield structure doesn't guarantee that. The covered call strategy that generates the 8% can compress yields if volatility drops or if the underlying equity underperforms. Here's where it gets critical for retirees. If you're living on this income, you're experiencing what we call an inflation lifestyle squeeze. Your housing costs, medical expenses, and groceries are all rising at 3% annually. Your JEPI income isn't. After 10 years, you're short roughly $12,000 in real terms. After 25 years, you've lost $150,000 in cumulative purchasing power. That's not theoretical. That's your retirement standard of living compressing. So what should a retiree consider? First, stress test your portfolio. Take your JEPI yield, subtract 3% inflation, and see what your real return looks like over your expected retirement horizon, typically 25-30 years. Second, diversify yield sources. Don't rely solely on fixed-yield instruments. Include dividend growth ETFs like SHT or VYM alongside JEPI to capture inflation protection. Third, understand your expenses. If you need $80,000 annually and inflation is 3%, you'll actually need $125,000 by year 20 to maintain the same lifestyle. Plan accordingly now. The takeaway, JEPI 8% yield is real, but it's not purchasing power adjusted. Over 25 years, that gap costs you approximately $150,000. Understanding this now lets you make informed decisions about how much JEPI to hold, what to pair it with, and whether you need other income sources that grow with inflation. If this breakdown shifted how you think about your retirement income, hit subscribe. Next video, we're breaking down the dividend growth strategy that actually beats inflation, dropping Friday. Ring the bell so you don't miss it. What's your biggest takeaway? JEPI holding up your portfolio, or are you already hedging inflation? Let me know in the comments. Stay informed. See you in the next breakdown.